This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now we learn about product information demand around the globe with Dwayne Taves and David Gregg.
Dwayne Taves joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas. And a chance to catch up with David Gregg with World Perspectives Incorporated. David, we think about the food system in the United States and globally. It can be complex, likely will become more so, but more folks are wanting more information with the food they consume.
Yeah, generally, I think that's the trend across most of the industry segments, whether it's proteins or produce, even ready-to-eat snack type foods that folks are grabbing, these quicker to-go menu meals. They want information on the package, and used to be it was generally, you had your USDA guidelines for what you're going to put on a package, your FDA guidelines. Well, now folks are keenly interested in a story as well in some cases, and this has opened up opportunities in marketing, but it's also opened up a lot of challenges for the agri-food industry to respond to consumer demand.
Recently, you had an opportunity to talk to producers about some of those things. What were the key takeaways that you really hope they got and understand about what our food system is all about?
So we conducted a feasibility study on animal ID and traceability in the beef cattle industry, in the U.S. beef cattle industry, and we did talk to a lot of producers, a lot of beef producers, and we talked to a lot of folks up and down the value chain. The key kind of takeaway for us is from the producer side, there is an understanding of what consumer demand is becoming. There's an understanding of these trends that we see in folks wanting more information about what they eat, where it comes from. So there's an understanding at the consumer level. There's also an understanding when you think about global trade dynamics and where we are exporting our food products. Globally, major markets are demanding more and more information about the food they import. And this includes developed markets, of course, but also developing markets in Asia, Southeast Asia. And so, we've acknowledged, we've talked to these producers, and there's an understanding of both the consumer demand and then the dynamics with global trade. And it's nice to see, here at KLA, the association has come together and are, in a way, responding to that type of demand by looking at a pilot program for animal disease traceability.
We think about the realities and the complexities. The fortunate side is that we're seeing the technologies being developed that can accomplish what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. In the case of this meeting, the association talked about the cattle trace program, where they are using ultra-high frequency technology to trace cattle movement. So if there's a disease outbreak, it can quickly be identified, the what and the where, and that ultimately builds consumer confidence in a system that is not going to allow lower quality or tainted product into the value chain. And again, at the U.S. consumer level and also globally.
Talking about that global perspective, though, particularly when you look at international markets, there are more of those that you reference are starting to demand that information, and there will be only a few countries that are capable of providing that at this point.
Yeah, I think when you look at where we see major growth potential in some Asian and African markets, there is certainly an identifiable trend of consumers being a little bit more keen in the products they're demanding, and also governments wanting to ensure for food safety purposes that the food they bring in is traceable, for example, and is coming from a logistical and a production value chain that has high standards, checks, balances, evaluations of quality and safety throughout the chain. So the U.S. is one of those countries that can provide that. All right, we are blessed with a really robust agri-food industry. We're very efficient. We have high quality products, and again, just referencing back to what's happening here in Kansas with the cattle trace program, we're now seeing industries respond, going even deeper to improve the profile of the products they're producing by tracing this or that, or by ensuring a quality aspect.
The blockchain technology is something that is discussed from time to time. Is that a part of this system and transferring that information from the producer all the way to the consumer?
We're seeing some private companies using blockchain. Cargill has a blockchain pilot program going with poultry and turkey meat. We're seeing some more blockchain pilot, test programs being used in produce all across the agri-food sector. I think blockchain has a place, but I think it's important not to overly focus on the blockchain, which is really a mechanism for sharing and transferring data. We can't put that ahead of actually making sure we have a system, or each sector, each production area has a system that's able to capture the data effectively and feed it into the blockchain. So the blockchain is part of the architecture, but it's really useless unless you have good data to feed into it.
Our thanks to David Gregg joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Dwayne. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.